Now that we're away from the temple and the road, I can talk about the temple and the road, because the road tells a very important part of the history of the temples of Shikoku. First of all, the temple was founded supposedly by Kobodaishi, who came here and had a dream of Dainichi Nyorai. Dainichi Nyorai appeared in a purple cloud and said, "This is a sacred place, make a temple here." So Kobodaishi carved a small statue of Dainichi Nyorai and established the temple. Later on, a small shrine that must have existed at this place before was declared the #1 shrine of Awa province, Awakoku at the time, the #1 shrine in Japanese, Ichinomiya. And the shrine grounds were so large they included the temple. And the temple was declared a bettoji, a temple that manages a shrine. So the shrine was given a statue of Kannon, of Juichimen Kannon, and the temple itself had the Dainichi statue. Then in 1868, when the government separated Shinto and Buddhism, they really separated here. The Kannon statue from the shrine, because it was a Buddhist element, was given to the temple and became the main image of the temple. And that road was put right between the two, although originally it had all been one grounds with the temple and shrine together. And so at the temple now, you'll see the principal image of the temple is the Dainichi Nyorai. No, excuse me. The principal image of the temple is not the Dainichi Nyorai. The temple is now called Dainichi-ji, the temple of Dainichi Nyorai. But the Kannon statue that had been at the shrine is now considered the Honzon, the main image of the temple. But away from the road, behind, there are these beautiful Shidare Sakura, these weeping cherry trees, which this week, every year, are at their finest. I think there must have been some mansion here to have these. Originally, I think there were 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, originally there were 5 of these trees. You can see over there that 2 of them have died, and this one actually became a double tree, and behind the camera there are 2 more. It's one of the most beautiful places for sakura, for cherry blossom viewing in Tokushima. And it's not a park, it's not even a private home. I don't know who owns this land, but I come here every spring and it's always this beautiful. Okay, how about a ghost story? A long time ago, there was a rich man with the last name of Aino who lived in the village of Ichinomiya. Here. He died, leaving his 2 sons to run the house. These rich men who die in these stories always have 2 sons. The older son's name was Tokutaro, and he was the heir. The younger son's name was Tokujiro, and he built a new home and lived close by. The older son left for business to Bigo province in Kyushu, and the younger son annually went to Kyoto, where he booked a room at an inn called Matsuyaki Saburo, east of the river by Sanjo Street. At this inn there was a daughter who was a miko, a shrine maiden, called Haru, and as if by fate, Haru and Tokujiro decided to live together without getting married and enjoyed their secret relationship together. Neither set of parents nor any other person knew about this situation. They continued this way for about 2 years, but Haru became pregnant and carried a new life within her. This year, however, Tokujiro did not go to Kyoto, but went with his brother to Kyushu. During this time, Haru became sick and remained bedridden for about 2 months. Various doctors came and different medicines were tried, but Haru did not get better. Gradually, her illness worsened, and it seemed that she would die soon. Haru looked at her parents with tears in her eyes and said, "Please let me rest at the house which is close to Toji Temple, because it would be convenient to go and pray to Daishi. Please let me move there." Her parents had compassion on her and said, "We understand. We will appoint a helper at the home near Toji and hope that you get better." The parents did exactly as she asked. Haru did not talk to Tokujiro, and throughout the day and night fervently chanted the name of Daishi and the sutra of Dainichi Nyorai. Her helper could not understand why Haru prayed so much and thought that Haru was strange. Unfortunately, Haru's condition worsened and her prayers had no effect. Her siblings, parents, and relatives all worried about her, and even the doctor gave up. At this time, Haru turned to her father and with her hands in prayer said, "When I die, please bury me on the temple grounds of Toji, and I ask to receive the stupa of the secret Dainichi Nyorai." Even though her father, Kisaburo, belonged to the Jodo Shinshu sect, he felt sorry for his daughter and understood her request. Soon afterward, Haru passed away like the flowers being blown by the transient wind. All the people in the family gathered together, and the parents followed the wishes of their daughter exactly and buried her on the grounds of Toji. About a year later, Tokujiro returned from Kyushu, and at first was happy to hear that all was well. He thought he would go to Kyoto as soon as possible, meet Haru, and discuss with her parents the next step toward marriage. His mother and older brother agreed to this idea, and he rejoiced from his heart to pass on the words of celebration to Haru. First, he went to the Buddhist altar, and when he went to light a candle, the sliding door of the back room opened, and he heard a faint, gloomy voice come from the gate. "Is this the home of Tokujiro?" It was the voice of Haru. He replied, "This is strange. It is night, and you have come so far. It is rare for you to visit." He opened the back door, and Haru came in. Tokujiro was surprised and said, "Wow, Haru, thank you for coming so far. Please come over here." He led her to the back living room. They exchanged greetings, and after carefully looking at each other, he noticed that she was carrying a baby on her back. Tokujiro could not understand and said, "Haru, whose child is this? Did you bring it, or were you asked by someone to bring it here?" Haru lowered her voice and said, "I am sure you have doubts, but this child is a product of when we made love last year. He was born last winter on December 8th. In other words, he was born in the hour, day, month, and year of the ox. He is the body of the deity Dainichi Nyorai." Haru explained everything from the beginning to the end. She added, "Just as you told me, all day and night I prayed devotedly the secret incantation of Abira Unken, and as a blessing of the Buddha, the baby was born and grew. Indeed, this child is a son of Buddha, and I must pass him on to you. That is why I have come so far." Tokujiro thought, "This is really strange," and said, "What I don't understand is your voice. It is a voice of darkness and not of brightness. I know that it must have been a difficult journey, so come out of the cold and relax by warming yourself by the fire. Fortunately, there's a lot of food at the main house, so I will arrange to have some brought here." He ran quickly to the main house, told his mother what was happening, got food and returned to the house. When he opened the back sliding door, he said, "Haru, sorry for keeping you waiting. Please eat this." He took the food close to the fire pit, but he could not see anyone around. Well, where did she go? Is the child here? He turned over the futon and saw a smiling baby hugging a stupa. He said, "What happened? Haru has disappeared, but there is a stupa. Was Haru that I saw just a ghost? This is very odd." He ran back to the main house and told his mother in detail what had happened. She was surprised and said, "What? First, let's tell the priest at Ichinomiya Shrine and ask if this is something good or evil." Without delay, they got the priest, and Tokujiro told him the whole story. When the priest heard about the baby and stupa, he said, "This must mean that sometime the woman must have died, and as one final resolution, she borrowed the mercy of Dainichi Nyorai. It is this being that has raised this son." From olden times, there have been similar cases in Japan, China, and India. The tale of a stupa raising a child can also be seen in old documents. It is most likely this child must have been brought up by the stupa. First, it is best that Tokujiro's mother raise him. Tokujiro must quickly go to Kyoto and tell the whole story to this woman's parents to confirm the details about Haru. Tokujiro left for Kyoto, arrived at the house of Matsuya Kisaburo on Sanjo Street, and told the whole story in great detail to Haru's parents, who were very surprised. This strange tale hit them hard, and they cried with tears of gratitude. After a while, they said, "Young man, we had no idea that you and my daughter were in a common law relationship. To us, this is something to celebrate in a big way. Our daughter obeyed your words, and by the mercy obtained by always praying the secret chant of Dainichi Nyorai, the stupa was able to raise the child." Despite her fervent prayers, Haru became sick, and she asked us, "I will pray for 1,000 days to Daishi at Toji, so please let me rest at the house that is this." There was no other choice, so we let her do so. The nurse who took care of Haru said to her parents, "Your daughter was an odd person. Every day she did not eat any meat or fish. As well, without fail, she said the secret Shingon Sutra, Abiranunken, of Dainichi Nyorai 1,000 times, and chanted Namudaishi Henjo Kongo 1,000 times. Unfortunately, however, her sickness worsened, and finally even well-known doctors lost all hope. The parents said to Tokujiro, she was going to die, and when we came to visit, she asked of us with her hands together, "Our family belongs to the Jodo Shinshu sect, but when I die, please bury me within the temple ground of Toji." We had pity on her and said we would follow her wishes. She added, "I have something else to ask. Please ask for the guidance of the senior high priest of Toji. I would be very happy if a stupa of Dainichi Nyorai would be raised as my burial marker. I ask that you do this." As if knowing her time of death, she put her hands together in prayer and passed away. The parents told this story with tears in their eyes. Tokujiro cried and said, "What a sad story," and added, "Now I understand." 5 days ago, a being in the form of Haru, carrying the baby on her back, came to my house and called my name from the gate. This is just as I have told you. Father and mother of Haru, I ask that you quickly come to Tokushima. Please come, even just once, to see the stupa and condition of your grandson. Haru's parents went to Tokushima. Everyone in the family had gathered at the house of Aino in the village of Ichinomiya and was talking about various things when Tokujiro and Haru's parents arrived. Everyone exchanged greetings, and then Haru's parents were guided to the back room, were fed, and then the group related what they had been talking about before the arrival of Tokujiro. Kisaburo said to everyone, Please show me this stupa and my grandchild. One of the relatives responded, we should get the priest of Ichinomiya as soon as possible because he was asked to come at the start of this incident. Everyone agreed, so Tokujiro ran to Ichinomiya shrine and got the priest, who greeted everyone and said to Haru's father, I am sure that it was difficult to come from faraway Kyoto. Thank you for coming. It is a special and strange fate that these two families have been brought together. Your daughter brought a small child to this home. Night came, and in a very short period of time, your daughter disappeared. There was only a small child and a stupa. Tokujiro was surprised and made his way to Kyoto as quickly as possible, heard from you the story from beginning to end, and then brought you here. A priest was requested to come, so that is why I am here now. I will tell you about this incident, but what has occurred is very strange, and I can't think of anything more bizarre. This morning I had a good look at the child, but he is really not like a regular person. Even now he hardly eats and only holds the stupa and licks it. This stupa is indeed odd because when it becomes dark, it shines. In other words, it is the limitless stupa of wisdom. Quick, bring the child here and show him to his grandparents. Someone brought the child, and when his grandfather hugged him, the child smiled. Then, when the child was put in his grandfather's lap, Kisaburo shed tears and said, Our grandson is so cute, but there is no mother. Perhaps he is relying on the stupa to be his mother. This is another form of destiny. Perhaps this is the result of what happened. Tokujiro, please ask the priest. We, as a couple, from this day forward, will become disciples in the way of Buddhism and take our grandchild on a pilgrimage around Shikoku in memory of our daughter for the salvation of our grandchild and to ask for the enlightenment of our ancestors. After 21 trips to the sacred places of Daishi, we would be most happy if the priest would accept this grandchild as a disciple. This would make us so delighted. They put their hands together and then prostrated themselves. In response, the priest said, I understand your plan. First of all, if you are going to visit the temples around Shikoku, then you must receive the secret Buddhist incantation. And then he gave each of them the secret verses. Kisaburo left the home quickly to prepare for the journey and dispatched a messenger to Kyoto. Then Tokujiro decided to purify his heart and participate in ascetic training. He asked the priest, Priest, if you will accept me as your disciple from today, I will become an ascetic of Shikoku. With these words, he cut off his hair and donned the garments of a priest. Everyone in the family gathered together, and he became an ascetic, one of very few in Japan, and all helped him get ready. Everyone in the village decided that tomorrow should be the departure day. The richest man in the village, the young husband from the Aino family, left home and became an ascetic of Shikoku. Everyone gossiped that something strange had happened. It was the 21st day of March in 1775 when they departed. The 4 pilgrims who had worked on getting ready from early morning left, and people with tears in their eyes saw them off. Lose yourself in the sacred land of Shikoku. Money is the treasure of this world. Enlightenment is the treasure of the next world. The grandfather of the child, Kisaburo, became a senior priest in Kyoto. Tokujiro became a great ascetic in Tokushima, and the child became a great priest of the famous stupa at this temple. All 3 passed from this world and were enlightened. The people of the village were proud of their salvation. This story is an example of a strange miracle tale of Dainichi Nyorai related to Ichinomiya Dainichiji. We must heed its teachings and believe.